Hello everyone and welcome to Barca News. It is March 21st, 2022 and the court has rejected Barcelona's appeal in their attempt to register Gavi's contract. Also, it's starting to look more and more likely that Ilkay Gundogan will be Barcelona's next signing, and it seems that Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is insisting on coming back to the club. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. My name is Mo, and before we begin with the news, just a quick update. I mentioned in last week's video that I'm currently building a new YouTube setup that will allow me to make live streams, which I'm hoping to do twice a week, once on Monday and once on Wednesday. And I was hoping to finish that setup this past weekend. However, one of the key parts that I had ordered has been delayed and it's not gonna arrive until this upcoming Sunday. So hopefully I'll finish the setup by this weekend and hopefully I'll start streaming live by next week. But I will keep you updated to the community tab, so make sure to stay tuned, and also make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can have access to the community tab where I also leave other updates in regards to Barcelona. Now I'll begin with the news that Barcelona have been handed a boost in the Enrique Negreira case. Now we've been talking about Enrique Negreira case for quite some time. This story dominated the headlines for the past few weeks, where it was discovered that the former Barcelona president Josep Maria Bartomeu had hired the former referee Enrique Negreira as a consultant for the club while he was still the vice president of the board of referees. And as a result, the prosecutor's office in Spain have filed corruption charges against Barcelona, Bartomeu, and several members of his board of directors. Now, the Madrid-based media have waged a media campaign against Barcelona, accusing Barcelona of bribing referees and buying influence, and even going as far as suggesting that Barcelona's accomplishments, such as the sextuple under Pep Guardiola and a treble under Luis Enrique, were all tainted and were all gained thanks to the bribery of referees, which is absolutely ridiculous. And this whole time I maintained in my videos that there was absolutely zero evidence that Barcelona had bribed any referees or bought any kind of influence. This was simply a case of a serious conflict of interest, with Bartomeu hiring a consultant who was also the vice president of the board of referees. Well, today the Treasury Department of Spain have released their results of the investigation, and they have said that there is zero evidence that Barcelona bribed any referees or bought any influence, which is of course something that I've been repeating on my videos, and it's something that even Javier Tebas, La Liga's president, who's the biggest Barcelona hater, has also confirmed when he has said that Barcelona are not going to be receiving any sporting repercussions because there is no evidence that there was any kind of bribery of referees or any kind of influence being bought. Now, I also spoke in a previous video about an attorney who I forget his name right now, but he has access to all the paperwork that the prosecutor's office in Spain has. And he too confirmed that after reviewing all the documents that the prosecutor's office have, that there's absolutely zero evidence that Barcelona bought any referees or even tried to buy any kind of influence in the Enrique Negreira case. But of course, you're not going to hear about any of this in the mainstream media. The Madrid-based media will continue to spin the same lie and the same story that Barcelona bribed referees. The trophies that they won was thanks to these briberies, because of course this is an orchestrated media campaign to try to make Barcelona look bad. So there's anyone that will tell you that Barcelona did attempt to bribe referees during the years of 2016 and 2018 when they hired Enrique Negreira, just know that they are absolutely lying, and there is, once again, zero evidence that Barcelona bought any referees or tried to buy any kind of influence. Now on to the news that the Mercantile Court in Barcelona have rejected the club's appeal in regards to Gavi's registration. Now, Barcelona attempted to register Gavi's new contract as a first-team player during the winter transfer market. However, La Liga rejected Barcelona's attempt, saying that the club didn't have enough space on their wage bill. However, Barcelona took this case to the court because they believed that they did have enough space on their wage bill with the departure of Gerard Piqué, Memphis Depay, and Hector Bellerin. Now, the Mercantile Court in Barcelona agreed with the club, and they did allow Barcelona to register Gavi as a first-team player during a winter break. However, as Javier Tebas vowed and promised, he fought that registration and the Mercantile Court agreed with him, and they decided to reverse their decision, saying that Barcelona had submitted Gavi's registration too late. Now, Barcelona appealed that decision, and today the court has rejected Barcelona's appeal. So Gavi's registration has once again been suspended as a first-team player. However, it is not over, because Barcelona have announced that as soon as they receive the formal decision from the court, they will be appealing it to a higher court, because they believe that that Gavi's contract was registered on time, and that Javier Tebas had changed the rule one day before the closing of the market, because he wanted to, of course, prejudice Barcelona. Now, again, I've talked about this in previous videos. I don't quite understand Javier Tebas' obsession with Barcelona and trying to screw one of the highest grossing teams in La Liga and in the entire world. Because in doing this, he's not only hurting Barcelona, he's also hurting the entire Spanish league, which he is the president of, in which he should be looking out for the best interests of La Liga and not trying to hurt one of its biggest clubs. Now, regardless what happens with Barcelona's new planned appeal, if Gavi's registration is for sure suspended and he's not accepted as a first-team player, his contract as an under-19 youth team player will expire at the end of the season. But of course, Barcelona are planning to keep Gavi, and Gavi wants to remain at the club. So even if his registration does not go through, he will still remain at Barcelona. However, Barcelona will have to issue him a new contract come this summer if his registration is not accepted. Now, on to the news that is starting to look more and more likely that Manchester City midfielder Ilkay Gundogan could become Barcelona's next signing during the upcoming summer. Now, Gundogan's contract with Manchester City will expire at the end of the season, making him a free agent in the summer. And even though the player and his current club had several rounds of negotiations, it looks like those negotiations have not gone anywhere, and it seems that Gundogan will be leaving Manchester City after all. Now, the Premier League club have reportedly given up on the attempt to try to renew Gundogan's contract, and they consider that the player will be leaving in the summer. But of course, nothing is certain in football, and that could always change at the last moment. But as of now, it is looking like Ilkay Gundogan will be leaving the Premier League club. Now, I had spoken in a previous video about how Xavi was a big fan of Ilkay Gundogan and how Barcelona would also like to have the player on the team. So Gundogan seems to be generating consensus all across the board at Barcelona. And today, one more thing was announced that would make it more likely that Ilkay Gundogan could arrive to the club. Now, it seems that Gundogan will be willing to reduce his salary to play in Barcelona. So once you take everything into consideration, the fact that he will be arriving for free as a free agent, that he's willing to reduce his salary, that he generates consensus all across the club and in Xavi's eyes, it's looking like this possible signing, that the signing of Gundogan is a possible signing this upcoming summer. Now, Busquets has yet to make a final decision on whether he's going to renew his contract with the club or not, but internal sources are reporting that no matter what Busquets decides, whether he decides to renew his contract or decides to leave, that Barcelona are still going to try to sign Ilkay Gundogan. Now, another plus factor in favor of Barcelona is that it seems that Ilkay Gundogan's family is becoming more and more fond of the idea of living in the city of Barcelona. So all this taken together is starting to look like Gundogan could become a Barcelona player this upcoming summer. Now, on to the news that Barcelona are already hard at work trying to look for Sergino Dest's next destination. Now, Dest is currently on a one season loan with AC Milan with an option to buy worth 20 million euros. And as I reported in the previous video, Sergino Dest has fallen out of favor at AC Milan, and he's even been dropped out of the Champions League list for the Italian squad. Now, AC Milan will most likely not try to exercise the option to buy with Sergino Dest, and Barcelona think that even if AC Milan decide to exercise that option, that they're gonna be looking to pay less than 20 million euros, since Barcelona are counting on selling the American right back to generate some income. They are not willing to reduce the asking price for Sergino Dest, so they are already working on Sergino Dest's next destination. Now, it's reported that Dest's agent is already working on finding the player a team in La Liga, and it seems that Sevilla are very interested in signing Sergino Dest. and Atletico Madrid are also interested in the American fullback, given that they will be looking for a right back and they'll also be looking for several reinforcements in order to rebuild their team. Now, it's also reported that Barcelona could use Sergino Dest in a swap deal with Villarreal in order to bring Juan Foyth, who is Xavi's #1 option to reinforce the right back position. But as of now, Barcelona, of course, cannot afford Juan Foyth's asking price of 60 million euros. So Sergino Dest could come into play and hopefully reduce the economical impact that Barcelona would have if they decided to go with Xavi's option and sign the Argentinian fullback. Now, another option for Sergino Dest is, of course, to extend his loan with AC Milan. But for now, Barcelona would rather offload him permanently this upcoming summer in order to remove his salary off their wage bill and in order to generate some income, which will help Barcelona's financial situation and the financial fair play rule situation as well. Now, La Liga and La Serie A are not the only options for Sergino Dest. There are several reports stating that there are several teams in the MLS who are interested in bringing Sergino Dest to the United States and that they're currently in contact with his agents. But even though I don't think Sergino Dest is good enough to be a Barcelona player, I would hate to see him in the MLS because I do think that he's a very talented fullback, and I would hate to see his career go from Ajax to Barcelona to the MLS. I would still like to see him still play in La Liga or Serie A or any other team in Europe. Now, on to the news that Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang seems to be insisting on coming back to Barcelona. Now, as I reported in yesterday's video, Aubameyang was seen celebrating the El Clasico win over Real Madrid with Barcelona players at the Barcelona locker room at the Spotify Camp Nou. And these pictures of Aubameyang celebrating with the players has, of course, given rise to a lot of speculation that Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang could be coming back to the club. Now, it's reported that Aubameyang, through his agent, is insisting on coming back to Barcelona, with Aubameyang's agent offering to Barcelona a low-cost signing and offering that Aubameyang could come back accepting any salary that Barcelona would be willing to offer him, including a very low one, and any role that Barcelona would be willing to offer him as well. Now, internal sources at Barcelona are saying that as of now, the club have no intention of trying to sign Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang because, of course, they do have a player in the center forward position who's Robert Lewandowski, who's the best at what he does in the world. And Barcelona are also trying to sign now Vitor Roque to be Lewandowski's substitute and his eventual replacement once Lewandowski's contract expires with the club. Now, I personally agree with Barcelona's stance because even though I will be forever thankful for what Aubameyang did in his short stint at Barcelona, he's nonetheless 33 years old going on to 34, and there is no place for him on the squad, so Barcelona should be focusing on signing young players, not signing older players who are nearing retirement, because after all, Lewandowski is the same age. So if we sign Aubameyang, that means we'll have both our center forwards retire around the same time, which would leave Barcelona with 0 center forwards. So that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a like. Also, I would like to invite all of you to please leave a comment down below, giving me all your thoughts and opinions about all the news that I share with you. And finally, I would like to invite all of you to please subscribe to the channel so you can stay current on all the latest news in regards to our beloved club, FC Barcelona. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. And as always, Visca Barça.